What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the first episode of Chatting with Chase. I'm your host, Chase, and I want to tell you a little bit about myself and my channel. So as you know, it's called Chatting with Chase. We're going to talk about sports. This is mainly a football and basketball channel, but with my channel, I decided to try to do all sports. I have people come in, tell me about baseball, soccer, boxing, whatever. But also with my channel, I don't want to just talk about my own teams. I'm a San Antonio Spurs fan. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. And I want to talk about all the other teams, not just my team because they're my favorite team. I'm going to hype them up because those are my teams. But, I want to have other fans come in there and tell me about their teams. I'll even bring some fans up here to interview. We'll talk sports, talk your team, talk about what you think about the game and all that. And just have fun. And we'll talk a little bit of trash, too. And speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, as you know, training camp is underway. They are in Oxnard, California. I believe this is day 4, day 5, if I'm not mistaken. And I got to say, I like what I'm seeing so far. You know who I'm going to start with? I'm going to start with Mr. Dak Prescott. Now, I know all y'all haters want to hate on Dak and all that. But listen, Dak Prescott led the league in touchdown passes. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Yeah, the Dak Prescott throw a couple interceptions in training camp today, but Dak Prescott been balling in training camp. So is the defense. And so all the haters that want to talk about, oh, look at him throwing interceptions. It's training camp, y'all. Come on. It's training camp. We have a great defense, and they're making the offense work, and the offense is making the defense work. I don't want to have a training camp where I see the offense just torturing the defense. And they're good for our offense, yeah, but then I'd be nervous about our defense because I'm like, oh, wait, if our defense can't get stops, who are we going to stop? Nobody. Same with the offense. If the defense was giving the offense problems all day and it kept happening and happening, I would be happy about our defense. Come on, okay, our defense looking good, but our offense, I'm like, hey, I need y'all to show me something, man. I need to have confidence that y'all can score touchdowns and all that. But let's talk about Tyler Guyton. Tyler Guyton, man, going against Micah Parsons, bro. Y'all know who Micah Parsons is. Y'all know what he's about. The fact that he was able to hold his ground. Now, Micah did get by him quite a few times, but it's Micah Parsons. Come on. Really? It's Micah Parsons. But if he can hold his ground and he pancaked Micah Parsons too, that says a lot to me. And going against D-Law. Like, come on, y'all. Like, I think Cowboys O-line is going to be back to what it was before when they had Travis Frederick, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Doug Free, and all them. I think it's going to be back. Dak's going to have better protection, more time to throw. But if Dak don't have time to throw, it's all good. He's going to make it happen, though. But, yeah, I'm really excited for the Cowboys this year. I mean, heard some great things with CeeDee Lamb. They're supposed to be closing in on a deal. We got to get him back in training camp. Can't wait to have him back, get Dak his target back. I don't care what y'all say. That's the best receiver in the league right there. And can't wait to get him back in training camp. That way he can torture that defense more. Yeah, but anyway, how Austin on bat, we're going to switch over to basketball now. As you know, today the USA is playing South Sudan today, USA basketball. I think it's going to be a good game. I watched the game the last time they played when LeBron came down for the game winner. I got to say, don't take South Sudan lightly. Although they do got KD back, and don't get me wrong, KD did go crazy the last game. But, the last game with South Sudan, I got to say, they're a physical team. They're going to play hard. They're going to give it all they got. Great defensive team. They got shooters everywhere. But I think USA is going to pull it off. I think they know what they're up against. They know what happened last time. We got KD back. I think USA will pull it off. But let's take a moment to just enjoy what we're watching in this USA basketball team. I mean, you got LeBron, you got Steph, you got KD, you got the young star and Anthony Edwards. And not only that, I'm mentioning all these stars right here. Let's take a moment and give Drew Holiday his props, man. Let's take a moment and give Drew Holiday his props, man. He don't get no credit. He don't get talked about enough. And I think he deserves to get talked about more because that man is everything you can ask in a point guard. That man can dribble the ball. That man can pass. He's got a solid jump shot. Could get better, but solid. But all in all, what he does most that most guards don't do is that man will lock you up defensively. He is a pure lockdown defender. I watched that game against South Sudan. Jrue Holiday guarding full court. I'm like, man. And I played basketball too, but I know I can't guard full court. Being able to guard full court, you know how hard that is? That is a lot of work you have to put in to be able to guard full court. He was guarding him full court, caused a steal. The ball was about to go out of bounds. He dives for it, passes it to LeBron. LeBron goes for a fast break and one dunk. Like, Jrue Holiday plays hard. He's a great defender. He's everything you could ask in a point guard. Milwaukee, y'all lost one right there. Y'all should have never traded him, man. Look at y'all traded him to Boston. Look, he goes and wins another championship, his second one. Got to give my props to Jrue Holiday, man. Now let's talk about Ant-Man. Anthony Edwards, man. That dude. Oh, man. I'm going to be honest. When I first heard about Anthony Edwards, because I'm a Kentucky Wildcats fan for college basketball. Y'all didn't know that? I'm going to go ahead and say that. And I was watching the game against Georgia. And I did not like Anthony Edwards. He was already trash talking at halftime when they were only up by a little bit. I can't remember how much they were up, but it wasn't by much. He's over here flexing his jersey, saying doing this and all that. And I'm just like, man, this dude's trash, man. But I got to say, he proved me wrong. And now he's one of my favorite players to watch. I was rooting for Minnesota to win it all this year. That didn't happen, but I know they're going to be back. But Anthony Edwards has become one of my favorite players to watch, man. I love his game. I love watching him. Love the trash talk. When he trash talks, he backs it up too. Like, he don't back down from nothing. Nothing. And we're going to be able to watch him for a long time, man. Between him and Wemby, but I think it will probably be Anthony Edwards, he will be the face of the NBA. Once LeBron, KD, Steph, all these great veterans are gone, Anthony Edwards is going to be the face of the NBA. What do you think of how we think of LeBron? Be like, oh, yeah, we know who LeBron James is. You don't even got to watch basketball. I think that'll be Anthony Edwards. He's going to be the biggest celebrity. I think he'll be the best NBA player for sure. And I think he'll go down as one of the GOATs, in my opinion. Give him time. Give him a few rings. Watch, he's going to go down as one of the GOATs. Now, I know a lot of Jason Tatum fans, including myself. I'm a Jason Tatum fan too. I know we were mad. I was a little mad that he did not get any playing time at all. I wish they would have put him in instead of Derek White. No disrespect to Derek White. I like Derek White. Forever Spur. Once a Spur, always a Spur. But I understand their game plan. There's a lot of small ball and all that. But it's also hard when you got KD going 100% in the first half, going 90% for the whole game. The whole game. How can you take that out, man? KD, the best scorer in the NBA. Probably the best scorer we've probably ever seen. Best mid-range game. And he's going 90% from the field? Like, how can you pull that out? You can't. There's nothing you can do about that. And I like Jason Tatum. I wish he would have played, but I do kind of understand why they didn't play him. And like I said, I'm not throwing any hate. Honestly, I think Jason Tatum gets too much criticism, and I think it's ridiculous. I think Tatum has solidified himself as one of the best NBA players. It was a close call for Finals MVP between him and Jaylen Brown. I thought Tatum should have got it. I know, yes, you could say about his shooting percentage and all that. Yes, I get that. But he did still average the most points a game, the most rebounds, most assists. Jaylen Brown, he came in clutch at the end. That was him. Tatum would start off hot, and then Jaylen Brown would come in at the end. But all in all, they're both good players. They are both great players, and I can't argue with that. But I thought Tatum should have got it, especially in Game 5 to close out a game to win the finals. Yeah, I thought he should have got it, but it is what it is. But yeah, Tatum, he is going to play today. I believe they play at 2 o'clock, I believe, is today. And I'm going to watch that game. And I think Steve Kerr did say Tatum will play. But it's also, you got to think if you're a coach and you have all these superstars on your team. You got LeBron, Steph, KD, Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, Derek White, Drew Holiday. You got Tyrese Halliburton too, but he don't play. That's another star in the making. We're gonna get to that in a little bit. But yeah, I mean it's hard to coach that. And honestly, like I feel for coaches too. Like you're like, man, we got a great team, but we got to get our lineups right. That's just how it is. Coaching can be pretty hard sometimes, and you got to make tough decisions. Now, I just mentioned Tyrese Halliburton. I think he should get a little bit of playing time, but I understand he is young. But that's a young star in the making right there, man. I was rooting for Indiana against Boston, but Tyrese Halliburton, I think the series would have went different if he had played, if he did not get hurt, especially Game 3. Yeah, because Indiana blew a 20-point lead. That was on them. Honestly, Indiana, this is what the Pacers' problem was when I was watching that series against Boston. The problem is they could not close out a game to save their life. They could not close out a game to save their life, man. And Game 3 really exposed that. Same with Game 4. All the Indiana fans say, like, Indiana, y'all just can't close a game, man. Like Game 1. That wasn't even that Boston came back. That was Indiana just being dumb with the ball. Dumb turnovers. Tyrese Halliburton turns the ball over. Jaylen Brown gets a lucky shot that he prayed for. But, yeah, it was just Indiana just being dumb with the ball and making bad decisions, allowing Boston to come back. And I think if Tyrese Halliburton did play, especially Game 3, I think they would have won. Not saying they would have won the series, but I don't think it would have been a sweep. I think it would have gone to like maybe a 6 or 7 game. 7 at most, but it probably would have been 6 just because of how not talented, but how good Boston is and how physical they play. So, yeah. And then hurts me to even say this. I'll talk about the Clippers. I'm a Spurs fan, but I root for players like Kawhi, Paul George, and Kevin Durant. Those are my 3 favorite players, so I root for all 3 of those. But man, Paul George is my favorite player out of all 3, but I still like the other 2. But I'm happy for Paul George. You know, he deserved his contract. Yes, y'all can talk about the playoffs and all of that. He's called Playoff P for a reason. Remember that name. But yeah, Paul George, I think he's in a better situation in Philadelphia with Tyrese Maxey, a young star in him. Joel Embiid, if he can stay healthy. And I think it's just going to be a great fit for him. You got a trio right there. You got a guy who can score. You got 3 dudes who can score, actually. But Paul George, you know, he could take the load off of them. Like, you want to put all the pressure on Paul George? Y'all want to try to take Paul George at the game? All right, fine. We'll go to Joel Embiid. Y'all want to take Joel Embiid? We'll go to Tyrese Maxey. Another star in the making right there. And I think Paul George is in a great situation right here. I wanted him to stay in Clippers because I wanted him and Kawhi to keep playing with each other. But I understand, you know, he wanted his money. He deserved it. And so he went somewhere else. Now we're going to get to the Clippers now. Honestly, they just need to get rid of that whole team. Start from scratch, man. You already lost Paul George. You lost Russell Westbrook. I don't know why you brought back James Harden. I don't even know why you traded for James Harden in the first place, to be honest. I was even saying, like, bro, if the Clippers better not trade for him, man. And, of course, they do it. I mean, he did all right, but, I mean, he's a curse at whatever team he goes. He can't win in the playoffs. I'm saying that for years. But the Clippers, man, like, y'all spent so much money on this team, man. Like, y'all done got Kawhi, Paul George, but the problem is y'all can't stay healthy. And usually it's Kawhi. Like, y'all always get screwed by injuries. It's either Kawhi or Paul George that goes down. I mean, this year was Kawhi. Last year was both because Paul George got hurt before the playoffs and then Kawhi got hurt in Game 2 against the Phoenix Suns and was out for the rest of the series. Then, yeah, this year, Kawhi got hurt. It's like y'all can't stay healthy. And it's like I said, I like those 2 players, Kawhi and Paul George, but that was very disappointing. And that's just me being honest. That's one thing about me. I am going to keep it real. I'm not going to be delusional. I'm always going to keep it real. Same with the Cowboys, too. I'm going to talk trash, get them hyped up a bit. But all in all, no, I am going to keep it real. When they play bad, they play bad. And so, yeah, so the Clippers, yeah, now that Paul George is gone and Russell Westbrook is gone, you need to just get rid of that whole thing. You should have never re-signed James Harden. You should have never – first off, you should have never let Paul George go. So, I mean, just start the whole team from scratch. Build a team around Terrence, man. Just do something, man. I feel bad for the owners. I feel bad for Teron Lue, man, that you had to go through that, man. Teron Lue, you ought to just get out of there, man. But anyways, enough of the Clippers. Let's talk about the San Antonio Spurs, man. Woo! They've been making moves all offseason, man. You know what? I said I was going to start off with Chris Paul, but you know who I'm going to start off with? I'm going to start off with Stephon Castle, man. I don't care what y'all say, man. That was the best player in that draft right there. Yeah, you know, people didn't know who the number one pick was. No, you know who that number one pick should have been? It was Stephon Castle. We got lucky that he fell to us, man. This dude was balling in the summer league, man. I mean, he is everything we could ask for. A great defender. His jump shot has actually gotten better. His jump shot was not that. It wasn't good, but it wasn't great. Sorry. It was good, but it wasn't great. Could have been better. But now when I was watching, like, it got a lot better. His pull-up game was good. His three-point shooting was good. He can play defense. He can dribble drive. And he's a great passer, which is what we need to get Wemby the ball. That was the best player in that draft. I don't care what anyone says. That was the best player in that draft. Now, I know Spurs fans, including myself, I wanted Rob Dillingham. I would have been happy with both. I was a little mad that we traded Rob Dillingham when we drafted him. But I think we made the right move with Stephon Castle. That man is going to be a future star. He's going to be our future point guard. And him and Wemby will be one of the best duos in the NBA years to come. Now let's talk about our signing with Chris Paul. I know there's going to be a lot of haters out there saying, oh, man, Chris Paul, he's washed. Oh, he ain't the old Chris Paul, you know. Man, we don't need Chris Paul to be the old Chris Paul. To be honest, what we just need Chris Paul to do, hey, man, you see Wemby down court, just give Wemby the ball, man. Just give him the ball. Chris Paul is a great passer, a great facilitator, and I think he is something that Wemby needs by his side. Because I went to games, I watched the games. We missed Wemby so much down court. And it was ridiculous, man. He'd be waving his hands up like this, and sometimes they'd be passing and it'd already be too late. It'd be too late already. So there's not, like, that's a great signing right there. And then not only that, Harrison Barnes, too. Yeah, you could say he's old, he's a veteran and all that. He's washed. But Harrison Barnes is still a good player. He has experience. He's a veteran. He's won championships. So I think it's a great signing. And I think the Spurs, and you can call me crazy if you want, but I think we're going to be a playoffs. We're going to be in the playoffs, and I think we're going to be a 6 or 7 seed. Watch. I'm calling it right here. And y'all can come back here and trash talk me if y'all want to. Now, I'm going to switch it back to football now. You know, one thing about my channel also, too, is I'm going to call out some of these analysts, too, especially Joy Taylor, LaShawn McCoy, Dan Orlovsky, Stephen A. Smith sometimes, but sometimes the stuff he does say is true. But I'm going to start off with Joy Taylor, all right? First off, I don't even know how you even have a job, Joy Taylor. To start with that, your takes, like, the only reason why I even watched that show is because of James Jones and a little bit of Manuel Acho. And I'm going to get to James Jones later. I'm going to talk about him. He's became my new favorite analyst now. But I'm going to talk about Joy Taylor, man. All right. So we know Dak Prescott get a lot of hate and all that. And everyone knows that because he's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. And so Joy Taylor literally goes on the show and admits it that if Dak Prescott was not the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, that we would be talking so highly of him. Well, no duh. How long have we been saying that for? And you finally admit the truth. Everyone knows that. And not only that, you just made yourself look bad because you're only saying, I only hate on Dak because he's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. You know your job as an analyst is to analyze the game, not the team, right? So give credit where credit is due. So if Dak Prescott plays bad, yeah, you can criticize him. But don't give none of the other quarterbacks a pass like Josh Allen, Jaylen Herz. You can do Patrick Mahomes because he's Patrick Mahomes, of course. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. Don't give none of those dudes a pass. Give that same criticism that you give Dak Prescott to the other quarterbacks. And speaking of Jaylen Herz, we're going to get to LaShawn Shady McCoy. I don't even know why I call him that. LaShawn McCoy, you're just as bad. Well, first off, Joy Taylor agrees with you with whatever you say. That's why she never goes first in her debates, because she always agrees with what you say. But LaShawn McCoy, you're not even a real analyst, just so you know. You're just a clown. That's what I'm going to say. You just want to go in there and clown around, saying all this and all that. Like, you don't even sound professional when you talk. You don't. Neither does Joy Taylor. Like, LaShawn McCoy, you over here going around bashing Dak and all that. Like you talking about, like, oh, he's the reason why Dallas Cowboys can't win. He's the reason why. First off, no, it's a team. It's actually a team, not one player. That's just lazy analysts because you just want to look at the quarterback and because he's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. So let's get that out the way. But no, you go around bashing Dak when he plays bad, but when your boy Jaylen Herz plays bad, you don't say nothing because just to correct LaShawn McCoy, he is the Eagles' all-time rushing leader, but he only has like 6,000 yards. Just get that out the way. But you go around bashing Dak, but when Jaylen Herz plays bad, you give him a pass. Same with all the Eagles fans out there. Y'all want to bash Dak, but all I hear about, oh, man, with Jaylen Herz, oh, man, the coaches, they ain't putting him in the right spot. You know, Brian Johnson called a bad game. Well, guess who your OC is now? Mr. Kellen Moore. And if you think he's going to be better, you are tripping. Because I'm going to let you know that. Like James Jones said, I'm going to talk about James Jones later. Kellen Moore, Dak Prescott played good under Kellen Moore. He played even better when Kellen Moore left. When y'all were bashing him about leading the league in interception, was saying, oh, he's a turnover machine. And I kept saying, bro, it was one bad year. Why don't you go look at his career and look at his interception ratio? Dak Prescott has always been good at taking care of the football. And first off, Jaylen Herz ain't proven that he's a passer, that he's a quarterback that's going to beat you with his arm. Jaylen Herz is a quarterback that he is a one-read quarterback. And if you look at most of his throws, it was thrown into double coverage or it was a contested catch and it came down to A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith making a play. It wasn't that it was a good throw. It was just Jaylen Herz and Devontae Smith bailing him out. And he is a one-read quarterback. He can't handle the blitz. It showed that against Dallas. It showed that against San Fran. It definitely showed it against Tampa Bay in the wild card round. I mean, if his first read is not there, he is not going to pass the ball. He's going to try to run out the pocket. He's going to try. But you know what teams started to figure out? That was the difference between the Super Bowl and then this year is that with Jaylen Herz is that we know you. They're like teams are like, we know you like to run. So you know what? We're not even going to try to sack you. And we know what the Eagles like to run now. And so we're saying, you know what? We're just going to build a wall. We're going to take your first read away. And if you try to get out that pocket, we're going to have a QB spy right on you. That's what teams did. But Jaylen Herz has to adapt to that as the game goes on. And he did not. And he's the Jaylen Herz who he's always been. As he is not a quarterback that is going to beat you with his arm. And I like Jaylen Herz. I think he's a really good quarterback. But y'all talk about like he's this all-world, like all-great quarterback. No, absolutely not. Like, and if you think Kellen Moore is going to come in and change that, yeah, I know y'all got Saquon Barkley. But first off, Saquon Barkley's injury-prone. And Saquon Barkley ain't been the old Saquon for a while. Because why don't you go look at the last two times we played? Actually, no. Matter of fact, go for the last years that we played because we beat the Giants every year. They ain't beat us since Dak Prescott's rookie year. And that was 8 years ago. So you're going around talking like Kellen Moore is going to change y'all's offense up, saying, oh, but first off, look at what happened with Dak Prescott. We don't know what Justin Herbert's going to be like yet. We're going to see what Jim Harbaugh does with him. But we got a chance to see Dak Prescott this year. And Dak Prescott led the league in touchdown passes, second in MVP voting, and an All-Pro. Yeah, the playoffs, you can say that, but yes, but he played so much. He played great without Kellen Moore. We were still the number one offense. We've been a number one scoring offense for years, even under Kellen Moore, and we were still the number one offense without Kellen Moore. And look at what happened with Justin Herbert this year. Yeah, you could say he didn't have Keenan Allen. I don't care about that. Justin Herbert had weapons. Dak Prescott only had one weapon, which was CeeDee Lamb. You could say Brandon Cooks, but I don't think he's at number. He's at like the number 2 wide receiver that the other teams have. But Justin Herbert had one of his worst seasons. Kellen Moore's playbook and how he wants to run offense is he wants to get big plays downfield. You don't need that. And that's what he's going to do with the Philadelphia Eagles. Y'all are going to be more of a passing team. The difference between us with Mike McCarthy calling plays and Kellen Moore is Mike McCarthy he balances it out. He says, okay, you know what? Let's open this thing up. If our defense is playing at a high level, you know what? Let's ease it back a bit. Our defense is playing great. They're getting us the ball back. Let's just be smart. Let's run the ball, play action pass, short passing. And if we want to get a play every now and then downfield, we will. But when we know that we have to open this up and put the ball into Dak Prescott's hands, then we'll do that. Like, look at against Seattle. That game against Seattle, we had to open the playbook up. We knew it was a dogfight that game. Like, after Seattle scored the first touchdown with DK Metcalf, we knew it was going to be a dogfight. But that's what you want. And you want to see your quarterback elevate. And Dak Prescott did. With Kellen Moore, I think if we had Kellen Moore, I think we would have lost that game. Because I think what Kellen Moore would have did is he would have came. He likes to run these stupid curl routes. I mean, they're not stupid. I mean, they're plays. I mean, you need curl routes every now and then. But he would run them so much. Like, I remember in the divisional round against the San Francisco 49ers, he was in a trips formation. He had Michael Gallup outside by himself. And he had, I believe, CeeDee Lamb. I believe it was Dalton Schultz. And I want to say it was T.Y. Hilton. First off, if you're running a trips formation, you better get your best receiver on the outside by himself and not Michael Gallup, who's coming off an ACL injury. Not only that, you have all three of these guys run curl routes while you just have one guy running a deep post route. Like, help your quarterback out. And you know what Mike McCarthy, what I love? I love these routes. I love slant routes. They are so easy, especially if we got one-on-one with CD. If you go look at the stats, but I believe he's behind Tyreek Hill at number 2. CD is the second best against one-on-one coverages. You can't guard him one-on-one. Same with Tyreek Hill. You can't guard CeeDee Lamb one-on-one. And Mike McCarthy saw that. And that's how Dak Prescott had the year that he had, and CeeDee Lamb had the year that he had. Well, I'm excited for this year because I think it's going to get better and better. Year 2 in this offense, we get CeeDee Lamb back in training camp, and we're going to be just fine. We're going to be just fine. Now, we're going to get back to the Philadelphia Eagles. But, yeah, if you think Kellen Moore is going to change the Eagles' offense, you're tripping. Because Jaylen Herz ain't proven that he's a passer yet. First off, he's talking about 95% of the playbook has changed. That don't sound like you got confidence. Then you going around talking about, it's just about going out there and playing and all that. That don't sound like you're confident right now. I mean, Jaylen Herz may like the playbook, but does A.J. Brown like it? Does Devontae Smith? Saquon Barkley? Never know. Saquon's injury prone. Nobody's worried about Saquon. Just being honest, man. Saquon, you should have stayed in New York, just so you know. Or you should have came to Dallas. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm not worried about the Eagles. Honestly, I think we'll get them the first time because it's at Dallas. But Eagles, ain't nobody worried about them. They still got that sissy head coach and Nick Sirianni too. But as I was talking about my man James Jones, y'all need to go watch Speak, man. James Jones is a great analyst. He is not biased. He will give credit where credit is due. If it was not for him and a little bit of Manuel Otto too, but mainly James Jones, I would not watch that show. Because I'm not trying to hear Joy Taylor and LaShawn McCoy talk. I am not trying to hear that. James Jones deserves his own show because James Jones He's not biased. He gives credit where credit is due. I like when he gives praise to Dak Prescott. But when he talks bad, when he criticizes Dak, it's because he plays bad. And I can't argue with that. Like, he played bad, and James Jones is going to say that. But when he plays good, he'll say that Dak Prescott played great. And James Jones, you know, he sounds so professional, unlike his other co-hosts. Well, Acho, too. Acho sounds professional, too, but unlike LaShawn McCoy and Joy Taylor. But James Jones just keeps it real. And I love it when he puts LaShawn McCoy in his place. I love it when he does that. Because I remember I was watching Speak one time. It was after the Seattle Seahawks and Cowboys game when Dak Prescott played great. When y'all were talking about game on the line, we need Dak Prescott to show up, and he did exactly that. You know what LaShawn McCoy comes and says? He says, you know what I need to see from Dak Prescott? I need to see what you're the one to mess up. Like, what are you going to do when you throw an interception? And I'm basically saying, like, so you're saying that you want him to throw an interception or fumble the ball and see how he responds? Isn't the objective to not throw an interception, not fumble the ball, not turn the ball over at all? And that's what James Jones mentioned to him. It's like, you got to give credit for him not letting that happen. Like, because if you throw an interception, it hurts your team. It hurts your offense. Now the defense got to go back on the field and try to get a stop. So, like, I'm done talking about LaShawn McCoy. I say that, but I'm probably going to mention him later on. But, yeah, and James Jones, like, I think he deserves his own show, man. I just don't think he deserves this, man. I mean, you know, Fox Sports make a little less than a lot of ESPN. But I think James Jones deserves more. He deserves so much more. He puts so much effort into this. You know, he gives credit where credit is due. He is not biased. He will keep everything real. And he deserves his own show. He deserves so much more than what he's getting right now. And I feel bad for him, man. You know what, James Jones? You're my favorite analyst. You know, why don't we start a show together, man? We need to start a show. But yeah, you don't deserve this, man. I know they're your friends and all that, but me, I think you need something better. I really think you could be at ESPN. You could put Stephen A. Smith in his place too. Put a lot of these analysts in. You're great at what you do, and keep up what you do, man. Keep up what you do. But let's talk about, as training camp is underway. Well, training camp is already underway, and all these teams. Let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. Actually, I think they found their new Tyreek Hill and Xavier Worthy. Now, I wanted Xavier Worthy because, I'm a Cowboys fan. And I was like, you know, if he falls, like, we got to take him. We got to – if he pair him up with CD, whew. But we traded back. I was a little mad, but I understood it. You know, I know a lot of us fans want the flashy pick. But, you know, we need a pick that we needed. Like, we needed a lineman. We went and got Tyler Guyton. Look how he's looking right now. Chiefs needed another receiver. So they went and got Xavier Worthy. They got their new Tyreek Hill, a speedster. Like, I'm watching videos in training camp, like Patrick Mahomes doing what he was doing to Tyreek Hill, running out the pocket, just throwing that thing downfield. And Xavier Worthy comes up with it. Like, I think they're going to be a great – well, they're already a great team. But I think they're going to be an even better team than what they were last year. I think they're going to come out the AFC. I mean, you could – doubt me or not, I mean, I doubted Patrick Mahomes once, and I'm not doing that again. Actually, no, I've doubted him twice, actually. And so, like, you can't go against Patrick Mahomes. Like, I did it the year after they traded Tyreek Hill, the year they beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I would say before the season started, I said, you know what, I think Chiefs are going to take a step back because they lost Tyreek Hill. But, boy, did they prove me wrong. Then this year, no, not that year. The year before that, when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, the Chiefs were having a horrible year that year. Horrible year. And although they didn't win the Super Bowl, they still made it to the AFC Championship and had the number one seed for how bad they were playing. Like, that's why I said I'm not doubting Mahomes. This year, the Chiefs had arguably the worst season under Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. And I'm saying, nah, man. And I'm hearing all these analysts saying it's panic time. I think we need to panic about the Chiefs. I said, no, man. I'm not going against Patrick Mahomes. This was the worst season they have ever had. ever had. And they still won the Super Bowl. And Patrick Mahomes did not... No, he played great, actually. He had a couple interceptions. But he got his third Super Bowl. Third. 2 in the last 3 years. Since he's became a starter, it has been AFC Championship, AFC Championship, AFC Championship. And they've always had the number 1 seed. No, I take that back, because they didn't have the number 1 seed this year, because they had to go to Baltimore and play. And, some people, I've heard that with some people I work with too, they say that, I'm just tired of Mahomes and the Chiefs. But I'm like, you can't fault him for that. The man just knows how to win. The game does not have to be perfect. And that's what great quarterbacks do. The offense could be like very sloppy the whole game. But when you need a big play and it's be like, you know what? I got y'all right here on this last play. We're going to go win this game right here. Defense, the defense having a bad game. That's what quarterbacks are saying. You know what, defense, y'all having a bad game, it's all right. I got y'all. And that's what Patrick Mahomes does. He carries that load. Bro won a Super Bowl on a hurt ankle against the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, how can you fault him for that? You can't. It's hard. And we just need to appreciate the greatness in him, man. He is the second best quarterback of all time. Now, if he ends up getting the 7 Super Bowl rings like Tom Brady did, then we'll probably have to have a different conversation about who's the greatest quarterback ever and who's the GOAT. But still a long way away. We'll see if it happens. It might not even happen. I really think it will happen, to be honest. If he keeps doing this, 6 years, bro. 6 years constantly in the AFC Championship. Yes, I think it can happen. So we just got to appreciate the greatness in him, man. Because we don't get this forever. Same why I'm appreciating the greatness in Dak Prescott, too. We will not have Dak Prescott forever as our quarterback. First off, they need to hurry up and pay. First they need to pay CeeDee Lamb. Then they pay Dak Prescott, which I think it will get done. I know it will get done. And so it's just hard. It's just hard to hate. For me, it's hard to hate on the greatness and all that I'm seeing, especially from Patrick Mahomes. Like, if Cowboys get knocked out, I'm going for the Chiefs. I'm going for Patrick Mahomes. I don't care what people say. But anyways, y'all, this was the first episode of Chatting with Chase. There's going to be more episodes to come. I just want to do this little intro video and talk a little bit about my channel and then talk sports. Just get the feeling of it. And I hope y'all like this. Hope y'all like and subscribe this video. And I'll see y'all next time.